All right, here I have visitors because I said the same thing when I was teaching how to get new visitors. But here I meant new members engagement, people who engage with your service and with your church on the internet. Let me be sure I am still sharing this same thing. All right, yes. Okay, so you want to get people who will, somebody who will champion the program, because God himself always starts with people first before he uses system. I know I'm teaching you how to develop an evangelism system for your church, but God uses people before system. So you need to get that one person and that team who will then execute the systems. Systems without people does not work. God wanted to deliver people from Israel. He went to go look for one man, Moses. He wanted to go fight against the Midianites. He went to look for one man, Gideon. Same way. He wants to torture the Philippines. He went to look for Samson. That's how God works. So God uses people before he uses systems. Jesus himself gathered 12 people together, trained them over a 3.5-year period before he deployed them to go and execute the Great Commission. We also want to follow that format. So you want to create a position in your digital outreach structure for a new people's director. In this case, I will actually call this your Netvangelism director, so that I'm not confusing you. This was a term I used for somebody else in a different training, but this is the term I'm using it here. You need to create, I'm going to have to take this out and bring it back because sometimes the sharing doesn't go on. So you need to create a position in your ministry for an outreach, your outreach structure for an evangelism director or the evangelism pastor or outreach director, whatever name that suits your current structure in your church. It doesn't matter. The important thing is for you to have somebody that has overall accountability for this. All right. Consider this position to be as important as your children's director and your worship director. Then begin to pray for the best person to fill that role. I always tell every pastor that we consult for that your evangelism director or evangelism pastor or outreach director, whatever name you call them, they must have a seat on the table of your leaders' meeting. That is how you get accountability. That's how you get things going. Don't treat them like second-class citizens, because they actually, as you will see later in this masterclass, the return on investment in spiritual growth, in spiritual impartation, is actually higher on the internet for less cost than what you spend offline. So you want to make sure you give this position the place of respect and honor it deserves, so that when you're having your workers' meeting every month, when people are giving report, the person that is in charge of your evangelism department must also give their report. So here are some prerequisites for your evangelism director or the evangelism pastor or outreach director, whatever you call it in your own organization. It's all the same thing to me. I feel I want to talk about that before we talk more about the team. Then I show you the practical examples of what we are doing. Because like I said, I want this training to be as practical as possible, so that when you are done, you can implement. So the person you want to pick must be somebody who is organized, who can write up and execute an evangelism plan after discussing with others, as devised by the church with the assistance of evangelism professionals like us. If you want, again, like I said, if you need us to work with you, you go to netvangelism360.com/appointment for a free 60-minute probing call for us to see how we can help you. But even if you don't hire professionals, you need somebody who's going to be organized, who's going to be able to use all this training that you have and the rest of the lessons in this class to be able to come up with a plan after discussing with other members of his team, and then who can execute it. So you don't just, you want a leader, somebody who can lead. Number two, you have somebody who has an aptitude and interest in using the internet and social media very well. Don't be sentimental here, pastor. Don't be sentimental here, my minister. Don't go and pick somebody because, oh, they've been a pastor in the church for a long time, or they said they love this digital outreach idea, but they can't even run their own Facebook page well. Then you are setting up your ministry to fail. This has to be given to somebody who has an aptitude and interest. Now, it is important. The person does not need to have technical skills themselves. As strange as it may sound, I myself don't have technical skills. I'm a lawyer. I have a 20-person law firm. I've been a lawyer for over 30 years. And yes, I've been doing digital consulting for the last 7 years, but I myself am not technical. I hired a technical team to do the technical part, build app, build website, and do what I need them to do. But I myself, I am not technically inclined, but I know what I want. I know what needs to be done. I'm the strategist. I'm the visionary. So same way, this your evangelism director or pastor does not have to have technical skills, but he must have interest in using the internet and social media. Ideally, it should be a web crawler. So if I'm interviewing for you, for somebody in this place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them, give me your Facebook page, give me your Instagram link, and give me your LinkedIn link. Or I'll ask them, what 3 social media are you active on? Give me the links. Then I'll go check myself. When was the last time you updated this page? How does he interact with people there? Does he look like somebody who really loves to be here? You can't put somebody who updated this page last 3 months ago as your evangelism director. Then they're going to mess it up. He has to be somebody who loves being online, somebody who interacts online. And the beauty of this is that you can verify this yourself. They can tell you whatever they want. But ask them to give you their website address, their social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the ones they have. Then go yourself to go check their page. You will know if they're active or not. When was the last time they updated their picture? When was the last time they posted? What were the kind of things that is showing up on their wall? Is it showing somebody who's really engaged? They must have at least one platform that they are very engaged in. Because I understand that all of us cannot be active in all our social media handles. I don't go to Twitter, even though I've connected Twitter to my account. So every time I post on my blog, obviously I'm tweeting. People tell me I tweet 3-4 times a day, but I've not been on Twitter myself for like 3 years. But I have 3 or 4 tweets showing up every day. There's a way you connect your systems, that when you post on Facebook, it automatically shows up on Twitter. I think I've done my own like that. But I'm a Facebook person. That's my specialty. While I'm still present on different areas. So your evangelism director needs to have a special area. And it doesn't have to be Facebook. The important thing is that they are serious enough to be active in a way. Number 3, they must be very sound in the word. Not only must they be social media people, they must also be sound in the word, because it's a dangerous world out there. And it is easy to get lost to the people you are trying to save. This person, your evangelism director, will be the one always watching every blurry line. There's a very thin line between aggressive digital outreach and heresy. You have to understand, because before you can interest people who don't even know Christ, who don't even want to have anything to do with Christ, you have to share some kind of video, some kind of text that will excite them, that will interest them to want to know more about Christ. And somebody has to be out there to know what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. The social media and internet is a very dangerous place to go and do evangelism. I always say it's like going to a nightclub to do evangelism. I believe in it. When I was pastoring a physical church, I actually tell our evangelists that if you really want to do real evangelism, it is where the prostitutes are. It is where people are partying at night. Those are the people God sent you to. But most of us, when we do evangelism, we are trying to reach those who already know Christ, or those who already have been coming to church, but they have not given their life. That's not evangelism anymore. They already know whether they are making up their mind of Christ or not. But the person who is a voodoo worshiper, who is a prostitute, or who is in nightclubs every day, that is the real people Christ has sent us to go and reach with his love. But reaching those people has its own dangers. That's why when I was pastoring offline church, I tell them when they want to go and minister at night, they must go in 3s, not 2, in groups of 3, so that they can hold themselves in check. Anybody can be tempted. You might be witnessing to somebody in a red light junction. Before you know it, the demon in her has convinced you, has smiled to you. And before you know it, you're falling under the spell and you lose somebody from the kingdom that way. But if there is 3 people, it is very difficult for all 3 of them to be captured at once, unless they are not strong Christians to begin with. So your pastor too must be somebody who's strong in the word. So he can know, and then he must not be ultra conservative. That won't work either. It must be somebody who's strong in the word, but also understand that the message does not change, but the means of delivering the message is dynamic.